slowly change some of their products or most of their products to all Mary Kay. And I have witnessed that in a lot of my customers. They will buy a skincare set, they'll fall in love with it, and then they'll say, well, I'm already buying my skincare from you every 3 months, so I might as well just slowly switch out. Like, I'll get a translucent powder this month, and the next month, when I run out of my eyebrow pencil, I'll get that from you. And so it really, I feel like, has created those loyal customers that are deep and wide. And once they're deep and wide, I actually have a customer right now that I think she uses every product Mary Kay has to offer. She doesn't want to be a consultant, which is fine. But last month, all of the products that ended up being needed to reorder, she had 4 reorders from me in the month of October. So it just really builds that, where they're like, hey, I need this, I'm out of this, okay, give me this now. And so that's kind of what I found.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I just had a customer this week. She's been with me, and I want to give you guys hope too, because we're going to talk about tonight, just the appointment and how to become a master in your appointments, you guys. But I want to give you hope too, because I know some of you, this maybe hasn't been a confident place for you to feel like you could sell skincare. We're going to be digging into that obviously in the next couple of weeks. But, sometimes you'll have customers who are color customers, and I can definitely say, watching Tanya too and myself, the minute that you became focused in selling skincare, you could go into a color appointment and still sell skincare. You could have a customer who is maybe using a couple of eyeshadows, and it became the benchmark. And that's what I want you guys to hear from us, is when the benchmark becomes that every customer hopefully will buy a skincare set, then at every time that you get together with them, you're asking questions like, okay, great. Can I give you a sample of this cleanser moisturizer? It's always trying to find a way to open that conversation back up about skincare. So if you haven't had this be a focus yet, please don't lose hope. It doesn't mean all the customers that you have will not eventually get onto skincare. That's not what it means at all. It just means sometimes you may have to work differently with different people. Okay, so we're going to split this into 2 sections tonight, and I am going to kind of time myself. So I'm going to give myself maybe 7 minutes to talk to you guys, 7 to 10 minutes to talk to you about the opening of your appointments and just some really important business skills that will help you secure your appointments. Okay. So the first thing that I want to go over is preparation. Okay. You guys, preparation, a little bit of this goes a long way. Mary Kay Ash, I love that quote that you're looking at right now. It says, everyone has an invisible sign around their neck saying, make me feel important. Okay. Never forget this message when you're working with people. And I want, honestly, I feel like we should all take a challenge. We should write this quote down and put it somewhere we are going to see in our business every single day. Okay. Because if you were to answer every single text, if you were going to go into every single appointment, and the number one thing you were going to remind yourself of was to make that person feel important. You guys, the way that that positions your heart is so important, and it's completely different than when we walk into an appointment freaked out, worried about how much money we're going to make, knowing that we have to pay bills with our Mary Kay money, and we've heard this saying before, when people say, it looks like we have dollar signs in our eyes. Well, none of you do that intentionally. Okay. I know you don't, because I don't. And that's not what we're doing, but sometimes life is life. And so it's hard not to, right? How many times have I gone to an appointment and I was leaving screaming children, or a husband who was upset because he had to make dinner, or whatever. That's probably not Jake because he likes to cook. But, there's always going to be things that happen. And if the one thing we remember is that our job is to make the woman who sits across from us feel important, you guys, that is all I promise you women want from you. They don't want you to be the most amazing, celebrity makeup artist. They don't want you to be the most knowledgeable person that knows every single ingredient in every single product. I promise you that is not what they expect from you, but they really, really want to feel important to you. Okay. Mary Kay Ash also said, I love that second quote. It says, it takes twice as much effort to find a new customer as it does to keep a current client. Okay. So, we're going to talk more about retention and what are the things that you can do in the next couple of weeks to keep on top of your customers. But for today, I just want you to remember that whoever you have in your customer base today, you guys, if you have 2 really good customers, it is so much better to just love on those people and grow from your 2+ people than it is to, I've heard consultants say this all the time. Well, I guess I just have to throw out all my customers and start all over. Well, typically you at least have 1 or 2 or 3 people in there who love you and enjoy some of the product. So remember that it takes twice as much effort to go get a new one as it does to keep a current customer. Okay. So the last part of the preparation, you guys, we are building a first-class organization. We're building that by when we are holding our classes, and we do things differently than other businesses, okay, and even other units in Mary Kay. We are going to be, professionals. I want to teach you how to run a professional business. I want you to feel prepared. You guys, I truly believe in the crazy world that we live in today, that if with a few simple outlining, skills in your business that you repeat over and over and over again, it's not about a new idea. I'm going to just stop you in your tracks right now. If you're somebody who is like, I just need a new idea. I just need a new idea. I just need a new idea. Well, that's okay. And I totally understand if have been in Mary Kay a really long time and maybe you're currently a little bored. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But you guys, I am telling you, at 15 years into Mary Kay, this is really as simple as a skincare appointment. I just had 2 skincare appointments today. They're the same skincare appointments that I taught Tanya 5 years ago. They're the same skincare appointments that I did 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when I became a master at selling skincare. It doesn't look any different. And you know what? Honestly, that excites me, if I'm being honest with you. I don't have to be worrying about what my closing sheet looks like. I don't have to be worrying about what new thing I'm going to put into my appointment and if it's going to work or not. For me, it's like hitting cruise control. It's like hitting neutral in my business when I roll into a skincare appointment. It feels good. I can do it when I have a bad day. I can do it when I have a good day, because it's not going to take a lot more mental energy from me, because it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I know there are those of you on this call that's where you need to be this week, is you need to hear from my and Tanya's heart that it is about mastering one skill at a time. One skill, that's it. And as you master the skincare class and you master loving on people, you guys, you take that one skill and you repeat it till the end of your Mary Kay career. And one day you wake up and you're like Tanya, and you have 100 skincare customers, and you have 2 diamond rings, and you have 2 free cars, because that one skill is really all it takes to succeed in Mary Kay. Okay. I promise you, I heard this a long time ago, and it said, if there was a secret to success in Mary Kay, what would it be? And they said, and I loved it, the skincare class. I was like, oh, okay, that's all I have to learn is a skincare class. That's the secret to success. Okay. So I want to talk to you just really quick, a couple of tips before your appointments. You guys, in the crazy world that we live in, I just want to take a really quick, before I hop into the actual appointment, and I want to remind you how important it is that you send confirmation texts to your appointments. You guys, people are busy, and just like you and me, they forget. Okay. In the service industry, it doesn't matter if you're a hairstylist, a nail technician, a doctor, a dentist. Think of how many times that you get a text or a phone call from your doctor's appointment or your dentist appointments. Okay. This is exactly the same thing. So take a second right now, if you haven't already done this, and just take a screenshot of the confirmation text that I have saved on here for you. You guys, this goes into the notes section of my phone. I use the same message every single time. It just literally gets copied and pasted, and I send it out depending on what the time of the appointment is. I will send it out if it's a party, and this is a little different, which we'll get into talking about parties later, but I'm more or less talking about like maybe a facial per se, but if it was a party, I would definitely send it out a minimum of 72, if not longer than that, ahead of time to confirm everybody at the party. Okay. But for a facial, so if I booked a facial with a friend, let's just use that example, and I'm going to her house tomorrow morning, then I'm going to text her in the morning that says something like this. Okay. Now the appointment that you're seeing that text is really for somebody who maybe I don't know yet. If it was a friend, I would definitely maybe kind of loosen that up a little bit. But either way, it's in my notes section. I copy and paste it, and then that goes out, before that appointment so that they can have time to remember that. So please make sure that you're taking the time to create a system in your business of where you're going to be collecting information like this so that you can copy and paste it. Do it one time, save it in your notes in your phone, and then have that be the one place that you're going to save all of the text messages for your business. Okay. Okay. So let's dig into the beginning part of this. And I'm going to take like maybe 2 more minutes because I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. I really want to give more time to Tanya, but because she's going to go over closings because that's really important. But you guys, when we're talking about the beginning of an appointment, our goal in the beginning of the appointment is to build a relationship with that person if you don't already have one, okay? So if you're having a friend or an acquaintance come over, this may be really general. It may be a really easy thing to do to ask them questions about them. Where do you work? Are you from, your town? Where are you from? Do you have kids? What you're looking to do by getting to know her better is to create a connection between the two of you. So let me role play this with you. If I was at the appointments that I just did today and I just asked these same questions, one of the things that I asked one of the gals is I said, where do you work? And she said, well, I'm a teacher and I work here at a school called CCA. And I said, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. My daughter goes to school there. She says back, who's your daughter? What grade is she in? I give her my daughter's name. All of a sudden we have this connection because we have something in common, and that's what I'm looking for. The second appointment, it was a little harder to do because this was someone, again, I didn't know. Now, of course, a lot of you are still working through initial contact lists. So maybe these are just catching up questions. They're not so much trying to create a specific connection. But the second one was a little harder. She's from out of town. So I kind of had to do some, where are you from? What do you do? Oh my gosh, I love teachers. Teachers have the best job in the world. I appreciate them so much. I had to really love on her to create a connection with her because there wasn't something that was easily attainable, like say in that first appointment. I really had to make sure that she knew how invested I was in wanting to get to know her. Asking her questions about when she's getting married, asking her questions all about her so that, honestly, more than anything, I want to know so I can get to know her better and love on her better and make her feel more important. Okay. So truly in the beginning of your appointment, that is one thing that I would just implore you to do is to either learn again, recreate that level of trust. If it's someone that you haven't seen since high school, ask them, catch up with them, ask them catching up questions. I notice this a lot with consultants. You guys, I feel like sometimes you don't take enough time to create a moment to connect heart to heart. Sometimes I've seen consultants get a little bit unsure of what they're supposed to do in the beginning. And maybe this is also because the scripting, maybe you don't feel super confident in what to say in the beginning. And we can talk about that as well, but I really want you to pause and make sure that before you move on and start talking about the product, that you have as much as possible created that heart connection. And it's through questions where you want to ask them all about them that you can do that. Okay. So after you've created that connection, you can move on and start talking about the product. And, Tanya and I will just get you the script for the party so that you can kind of move on and do that. But I think the most important thing in that, you guys, is the next part. It says master your scripts. You guys, 2 things. You're going to learn by doing, but you're going to learn by practicing. Back in the day, they told us, Mary Kay told us we had to we had to memorize our script 10 times. We had to stand in front of a mirror and read our script 10 times and smile and look exactly like we would if we were holding a party. That's probably another missing link. What I'm seeing right now for a lot of consultants is there isn't a lot of confidence in their wording because of the lack of practice. And the practice can be at home, but it can also be on people. And I think it's both and. When you get serious about your wording, it makes the connecting easier because you're not so worried about what you're going to say and what comes next. So, Tanya, what else would you add about that before you go into closing?
I think the only thing I would add, just because it's more of an opening piece, is one of the things I changed during the year that I was earning my first diamond ring was I always, and Holly can vouch, like I always wanted to be super authentic in my appointment. And so sometimes when I was booking people and saying, sometimes we can say stuff like, you get a free facial or you get, a makeover, and they show up and maybe their expectations are different, or, they just don't really know exactly what they're getting. So one of the things that, especially when you are making it for you, like you're saying, hey, I need a model for my portfolio. Would you be a model in it? It feels like it can be all about you, right? Whereas we want it to be all about them. And so one of the things that I added was in that relationship building piece, like when Holly's like, oh, you're a teacher, da, da, da. I just kind of have a little opening that I just tell them like, okay, so here's what we're going to do today. Obviously, we're doing a portfolio. Like we're going to go through all these products and take your before and after picture. And this is like the most important part. But I say, but I want this to be beneficial for you and I want it to be beneficial for me. So what I'm getting out of this is, you being in my portfolio, but I want to make sure that you're getting something. Like if you're going to spend this hour with me, I want to make sure you're getting something out of it too. And so I dig a little bit deeper then into just learning about their needs. And so I always start with skincare. And so like I literally take their customer profile card. Hold on, let me grab one. I have one right here. Okay, well, I lost it. I don't know where I just put it. But anyways, on the back of the profile card where it says like for office use only or whatever, that little pink box, I literally flip it over and I just say, okay, so tell me like, what's your skincare routine? What do you do every morning? And I just let them talk. And sometimes they go on and on. Sometimes they're like, I don't have one. But I'm learning their need and I'm building that relation. Like I'm showing them that I'm the professional and asking them like, what do they need? And then later in my skincare class, I can help fill their need with the product, right? So I just say, what's your skincare routine? Tell me all the products you use. What brands do you use? I don't really care about the brands. What order of application? And then I just like draw a line and then I say, okay, and then what makeup products do you use? Like what's your makeup routine? And they'll tell me, oh, well, I do foundation and mascara and sometimes blush, and I don't really know how to do eyeshadow. I've always wanted to do eyeshadow. Like, so they kind of go on. And then I say, okay, and if I were to teach you anything about your skin, what would you want to know? And they'll say, well, I have redness or I'm really oily. And then I go on, okay, and then if you wanted to learn anything about makeup, is there something specific that I could teach you? And so during that process, what I found is I'm building trust with them, but I can also tailor my appointment to them, because sometimes it is the same appointment, but sometimes it has to be a little bit different. If someone has acne, it's going to be a different facial than it is that someone has dry skin, right? So that has really, I felt like that's really built them to trust me and have that deeper relationship, because then they feel like they're getting something out of it themselves, And so as I go through my appointment, I can say, okay, well, I know you really wanted to learn about how you can get rid of redness. So I think you would really love these products. And it's not so salesy and it's not so dollar sign. It's like, here's your need and here's what I'm filling it with. Okay. So that was like the only thing I would add to my opening.
Love it.
Okay. So do you want me to go to the closing now?
Yeah, let's do that. And are you on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to look for the closing. You have a script of it, which we don't have to screen share it, but I just thought if I could find it.
I have it right here.
Okay. If you do, perfect.
Yep. Okay. So, well, I had it. Closing. Okay. So the biggest thing that I had to get over with, okay, was more of a personal issue, was my confidence in closing the appointment and then doing the individual like consultations. And for the longest time I fought it because I was like, it's not that important, and you know, that's weird to like have someone go in another room or whatever. But when I started doing it, my sales actually went higher. And also I truly believe it is a time, if you're working, like, here's the best part, if you're setting up your appointment at the beginning, the end is so much easier. And I feel like a lot of people are scared of the end because that's the scariest part, like asking for a sale, asking for an appointment. But if you're setting it up at the beginning, they're already kind of expecting it. And then it just makes you look like you're doing what you said you were going to do. So, like I said in my opening, you know, I like to find those needs and then go through my appointment. And then at the end, I can still kind of tailor it to them, but they're already expecting me to help them fill their need because that's what I told them I was going to do. And so from my opening, I'm allowing them to know, okay, we're going to find a need that you have today. I'm going to show you how to fill it. And then at the end, you know, essentially, if you think I've filled your need, we can talk about what products you want to take home or whatever. Okay. So I really learned that I could set it up in the beginning so that the end was not as scary, and it was a little bit smoother. So anyways, what I do at, if there's a group of girls, okay, everyone's sitting at the girls, and like Holly said, I have the same thing every time. I use the placemat. I changed to the placemat closing sheet in the starter kit because I was tired of printing new ones. I was tired of asking which one worked best, like calculating discounts. I just was over it. And so I said, you know what? If Mary Kay provides one, then I'm going to use it. So I use that placemat. And I let them know, like, I'm always setting myself up for later, okay? So as you can see here, I say, okay, in case there's anything that you fell in love with today, I'm going to go over some prices and steals and deals that I have for you today. So everyone can go ahead and flip over your placemat, and I just kind of, you know, I'm doing the motion with them. And then I just walk them through what we have. So no matter if they seem interested or not, if they used something or not, if they liked it, like, I'm going over everything, okay? And I learned this because one time, she's actually one of my consultants now, I had an appointment with this girl, and she like totally seemed not interested at all in the appointment. Like she was just like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. And so at the very end, I was practicing, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say what I said I was going to do. So I went over my whole closing, and I was like, here's this what we use, da 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 da. And she ended up buying like $300 worth of product, and she was one of my very good customers for a really long time. And then she signed up as a consultant. And I literally thought she was not interested in the whole appointment. So I go over everything. Okay, the best deal that we have today is that you can fill your roll-up bag. If you purchase any 4 sets today, you will get our roll-up bag for free. And I pull out the roll-up bag, I show them what it looks like, you know, pull the pockets off. On the placemat, okay, the basic set counts as 1 set. The miracle set counts as 2, the ultimate miracle set counts as 3, and then the repair set automatically counts as 4. And then all of the other sets on the sheet count as 1. So I'm literally telling them that as I'm showing them the sheet. And then I love to give them like ideas. So my most popular my most popular set and I'm not so robotic because I'm just doing it conversationally, but I literally used to print this. This was a little different back then, but I printed this and read it like at my appointment. So don't feel afraid to print this out and literally like read off of it, because that's what I did. So my most popular filled bag is a Miracle Set, Skin Vigor brush, and then a customized color look. And that's like the dash out the door look. Of course, you can purchase less sets or anything individually, but you will get more bang for your buck by filling your bag. Okay, so then I have them flip over their profile cards, and if it's one-on-one, like I'll just kind of ask them the questions. But if it's the group, I want to be able to get all of their answers so that when I individually close them, I can see their answers. Okay, so I'm going to have them do 3 questions. Okay, of the sets I showed you today, which set would benefit you the most to use at home? And I love this, what would benefit you the most, because I feel like that's where it takes away the dollar sign feeling. Like, you're not saying, okay, which one do you want to buy? Or like, you know, which one, what can I sell you? Like, you're literally asking them, well, what would actually benefit you? And how would that feel if somebody was trying to sell you something, like if they actually cared what was going to benefit you and you would actually use at home? So that's what I love about that. And then, okay, second question. At your follow-up color appointment, would you prefer to be pampered one-on-one, or would you like it to be friends and free to earn products at a discount? And then, of the little bit you see me doing tonight, is Mary Kay something you would ever consider doing for yourself? Okay, so small disclaimer, this right here, I really only do these like at a party. I do not do these at a facial or a double facial, mostly because I'm setting myself up for that. So that's there, but this is really the most important part that I would focus on. So don't get too caught up in this like part. Okay. So, okay. So right here is really my basics. So I always say, since breakouts and budgets are personal, let's go ahead and meet for individual consultations away from the table one-on-one. And, you know, we can go in the kitchen or we can go in the office, like whatever. Okay, I always ask, does anyone need to leave early? Start with that person. And then with each customer, this is the most important part. You already have built that relationship in the beginning. And so now you're kind of like reconnecting, because there was some time in there where they were having fun, but they were talking to other people and they weren't really focused. And so now you're like bringing them back to like you together. And that was the scariest part for me, but it is the most important part to building a further relationship, filling the need, and then closing the sale. Okay. So, okay. So I just asked these quick questions, like, did you have fun? What was your favorite part? What product did you love the most? And then if she's, okay, on the back of the customer profile card, she marked down that she wanted the Miracle Set. Okay, Karen, I see that you marked the Miracle Set. So tell me, you know, do you think this would benefit you if you use this at home? And, you know, like it says, be quiet and let her answer. When she says yes, let her know that she's currently at 2 sets. So with only 2 more sets, she can get the roll-up bag for free. So what I do here is, if she says, oh, I really, really want that Miracle Set, and she just stops there. Okay. Okay, well, that's awesome. So you're at 2 sets. So is there any other sets that you want to add so that you can get your bag for free? Like, you're just helping her brainstorm. Okay, so it's just like at Sally's when you walk in and they're like, hey, you've spent $30, and when you spend $45 you get a free tote, and you're like, oh my god, I need a free tote, like what can I get? And they're like, well, do you need shampoo, do you need hairspray? Like, you're literally just helping her brainstorm. Okay, so so I walk her through that, help her discuss which products would benefit her the most to create 4 sets. Okay, Karen, well, what do you think would benefit you? I know you really like that satin lip set. I know you're a nurse. Are your hands dry? Like, could you benefit from the satin hand set? Like, you know, just brainstorming based on that one-to-one person, what she would need. I know that you said you have some acne scarring you're worried about. So what about the facial peel? Do you think you would like the facial peel? Like, you're asking questions and letting them talk. Okay. So then going into booking their second appointment. Okay. This is the same thing I use every time, helping them book their second appointment. And then, okay, do you want to do it by yourself or do you want to do it? And I personally have a closing sheet. I know Holly does too, that she's probably shared with you, where all of this is on here. This is just kind of the verbiage, but I actually follow along with the what do you think form. So there's that. Okay, so the most important part, because we're talking about skincare, and like I said, I don't want to get too off topic with all the other stuff. We've been talking about this 21-day challenge, right? And I guess I missed this part. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm still on mountain brain. So if I go back to the beginning of the closing, I try to bring them back to life first, because we've just done a lot of stuff. Like, we built the relationship, we did the party, we did the facial, they tried a bunch of products, we laughed, they ate food, whatever. Sometimes they can think like, oh my gosh, I love that, but that took an hour and a half and I don't have an hour and a half to do that. Okay. So I just bring them back to life and I say, okay, so I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you everything we used today and show you how quick and easy it was. So okay, sorry, we have a time limit. I'm trying to talk really fast. Okay, so if you remove me talking in between the steps, all steps will only take like 3 to 5 minutes in your bathroom. So I line them up and I show them, okay, this is the cleanser, this is the day cream, this is the night cream, this is the eye cream, we use the satin lips, we use the microderm, this is the order that you'd use it in. I do that really quick and show them, okay, so line the Miracle Set up in order. And then this is where it gets really important. So we've been talking about that 21-day challenge and how do we incorporate that? And this is where I had that huge shift of selling a basic set compared to a Miracle Set, okay? So I'm letting them know the 3D Miracle Set is a 4-piece set for $110. This should last you anywhere from 4 to 6 months. The Ultimate Miracle Set is like brushing, flossing, and whitening your teeth. It includes a Miracle Set plus a microdermabrasion for $165. Okay, so you're just asking, do you like your skin? And then I go into this. Like I said, I'm kind of backwards, so sorry. But in case there's anything you fell in love with, the best deal we have is the Fill Your Roll-It Bag. So here is where I made that huge shift. Okay, I took the Jeannie Martin 21-day challenge, and I qualified people. So when I go over this, the basic set counts as 1 set, the Miracle Set counts as 2 sets, and this is what will qualify you to do the 21-day or the 21-day skincare challenge. And then I keep going on. The Ultimate Miracle Set counts as 3, the Repair Set counts as 4. So I added that in. I made the basic set kind of sound lame, and then I said, and the Miracle Set, this is where you qualify to be a part of our 21-day skincare challenge. And I don't know if it was just the verbiage or what, but I can tell you I saw a huge change in people where they would even say like, well, I really want to do that 21-day skincare challenge, so I'll just do the Miracle Set because I want to do that. So adding that in, and then that following up with that 21-day and making sure everything's working and they love everything, that really, really builds those loyal customers. Because I had a customer that didn't even open her Miracle Set for like 2 months because she like thought she got a rash from it. And if I would have never checked with her, she would have never told me. Okay. So what you can also do is in between, like right here, when they're flipping their placemat, that's where you can kind of, and this isn't tailored to the 21 days, so that's why it's missing, but this is right here where you can add the description of the 21 days. So they've tried the skincare, they love their skin, they love how it feels, and then you can say, oh, and guess what? Right now we have a 21-day skincare challenge going on. This is how it works. This is what you get, blah, blah, blah. And then I go into the basic set counts as 1, and then the Miracle Set qualifies you to be, a part of the skincare challenge. And then obviously the Ultimate Miracle and the Repair Set would count too. So hopefully that wasn't too mumbled around, but like Holly said, if you need to get this, we can get this to you. Basically, just remember that you're trying to fill her need that you found out in the beginning, and building that relationship with them and tailoring the appointment to them, so that there's trust and they really view you as a professional rather than like you just trying to sell them something. Um, and learning to ask those questions. I've changed a lot of my appointments to talking at them. Um, Rather now I just ask a lot of questions. So like, are you a nurse? Oh, do your hands get dry? Would you benefit from this? Oh, you have a kiddo. Like, does she have acne? Like, just asking a lot of questions and letting them figure it out for you. So that's all I have. Hopefully that was good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, so I put in the chat feature. I'm gonna unrecord us just because I think I can do that. I have this recording. If for some reason, I think I can